What's up, guys? It's story time. Look, so I wanted to hop on, go live, and tell you guys a story. So I met these girls last weekend. I met two girls last weekend when I was out. And these girls seem seemed pretty cool. Well, the one girl. So the one friend, they were besties, right? So um, the one friend kind of beckoned me over, started talking to me. So we started conversing, and she was like, just being friendly. And she was like, "What do you do?" And so I let her know I'm a dating coach. And she was like, "What? A dating coach?" Hey, and if you guys are on, feel free to join. Y'all can chime into the story if you want. As I get into it, if y'all have any comments or anything, feel free to jump in and we can have a conversation. I would love to know your thoughts on this. But anyway, so friend beckons me over. She finds out I'm a dating coach, and she's like, "What? A dating coach? You need to talk to my friend." So pointing to her friend on the other side of me, and I'm like, "Okay." So I start talking to the friend, and the friend is like, "I have been single for 5 years, and I don't understand what's going on. What am I doing wrong? Like, why am I single?" And so I didn't tell her this, but first off, um, I read energy pretty well. And first off, I could tell the friend that first started talking to me, okay, she had very inviting, feminine, friendly energy, right? The friend that's been single for 5 years, she didn't. Honestly, the energy was kind of, you know, I would say kind of mean, don't talk to me, and also a little bit masculine. But I didn't want to start off the conversation that way because didn't want her to get in her feelings, especially not right away. So I was like, well, first off, I know it can't be your looks because you are reasonably attractive. I would say she was average 5'6", which is actually quite attractive, ladies. So don't get me wrong there. When we're in this age where if people aren't saying you're a 10, you feel offended. Look, you're not a 10. I'm not a 10. Most people are not a 10. Average is called average for a reason because it's the average where most people lie. So 5 or 6, that was her attractiveness level. Pretty attractive. So it wasn't that. I was like, that can't be why guys aren't approaching you. That can't be why you're single. So I started talking to her more, asking questions to really get to the meat, see what the problem really is. So she said, well, maybe I just have too high of standards. But she listed the basic things. She want a guy that's ambitious, has something going for himself. He's actually trying to do something with his life, funny, masculine, that type of thing. So nothing crazy. So I told it, can't be that. That's pretty standard. So we dive deeper. So she goes ahead, she starts to tell me a little bit about her. She has her bachelor. She's in PA school currently, going to be a physician's assistant. And she's done all apparently these great things in life. She says she's been really successful. Her friend says she's really successful. She's been really successful. And I guess getting degrees counts for success these days. So, I guess she's pretty successful in that regard because she's getting a degree. She's gotten a degree. She's about to get another degree. So, okay, successful. But basically all the things she told me about, what she's doing in her career as far as degrees, all of this different stuff. Basically, what I gathered from it is, and this is exactly what I told her, you are becoming the man that you want to be with. You're becoming the man that you want to be with while not becoming the woman that men actually want to be with. See the problem there? So while you're becoming all successful and blah, 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 you're not being a wife, right? Scripture says, man that findeth a wife finds a good thing, right? You need to be a wife, and then you can be found by your husband. Well, she also went on to tell me, she mentioned multiple times throughout this conversation, men ain't ish. Okay? She said, men ain't ish. I won't submit to a man. She also told me that, she said, I can be feminine, but I won't be feminine until a man comes and make me feminine. That doesn't really make sense. So I asked her this question. So would you then want to be with a man that's not going to be masculine until you come along and then he'll be masculine? Of course her answer was no, because that does not make sense. And then she also kept talking over me, so I couldn't, which again, masculine trait, but I couldn't give her the full picture because of that. But what I was leading to ultimately is this. You have to perform the duties of the role that you want. She said she wanted to be a wife. How can she be a wife if she won't submit to a man? She thinks all men are ish, and she will not be feminine unless a man comes along and make her feminine. That doesn't make sense. She said she can be feminine. You can't. Femininity is not something you just turn on and off like a light switch. Same thing with masculinity. Either you're masculine or you're not. Either you're feminine or you're not. Either you're a wife or you are not. She simply wasn't a wife. That's why she's been single for 5 years. And that's what I wanted to get her to understand. She's in PA school, right? And she's taking all these tests and studying and giving countless hours of her time and her life to these studies. Why? To become a PA. And guess what? If she didn't do that, you think she would become a PA? If she went ahead and decided, I want to be a PA, but I'm not going to do anything to actually get that title, you think she would get the degree? No. She is doing everything required to gain the title of a PA now. And that is the only reason why she will become a PA. And she will be awarded the title of a PA eventually. Same thing with becoming a wife, ladies. If you want to be a wife, you need to be a wife. You don't become a wife when a man finds you or when a man shows up and give you a ring. You are already a wife. That's why the divorce rate is so high in this country. A lot of women want the title, but they don't want to do the work. You can't expect to become a manager of a store without having shown that you have those capabilities to be a manager. And if you do become that manager, guess what? It's not going to work out. It is not going to work out. You're going to suck at the position. And that's why she is 25. 25. She is still in the sweet spot. Why is she single? Why has she been single for 5 years? And this is the problem. This is why so many women will die alone. Because they have this mindset, men ain't ish, I won't submit, I'm an independent woman, I don't need a man, all things that she said. You don't think that men can sense that? No wonder no man has ever approached you, or men don't approach you regularly. They can sense that, and they do not want women like you. And ultimately, she just got mad at me. I said it in the most kind way that I could while still being honest. But guess what? She just got mad. She got upset. She said I was attacking her, saying that she she can't be successful and blah, 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 blah. But I never said any of that. I told her the truth. And then I told her, you heard what you feel. You didn't hear what I said. If you actually hear what I say, then you can actually learn something. But she just got upset. And she asked for my help. But then she would not listen. See, and I told her, you are creating your own reality. You're saying that all men ain't ish. You're saying that men ain't ish. If you're saying that men ain't ish, how in the world do you expect a man to want to be with you? If you have the mindset you're an independent woman, you don't need a man, men ain't ish, why in the world would a man want to be with you? Men can sense that. That is why at 25 years old, she's been single for 5 freaking years. That is a long time to be single, especially for a 25-year-old. She is creating her own reality by the energy that she is putting out. That's why no man wants to be with her. If anybody is on this live right now, feel free to chime in. I would love to hear your thoughts, your opinions. But yeah, so that's how that whole conversation went. And ultimately, she didn't learn anything because she didn't actually hear me. She just did this thing that women often do. Women often cannot process information without taking it personally. That's the subjective versus the objective. She was very subjective in her thinking, and she took it as an attack, but it wasn't an attack. I was trying to help her. She asked for my help. She asked me what was she doing, why was she single. I told her. And this poor girl at 25, she's probably going to wake up real soon and find herself 30 and still single. She told me she doesn't have to do any of this. She doesn't have to change because my husband will find me. Here's what I told her. You know what? Sure, your husband probably will find you if you start to put out wife energy. If you start to put out wife energy, your husband probably will find you. So yeah, that's that whole conversation. It did not work out. It's not going to work out for her, though, I can guarantee you. And the same for the rest of you ladies. If you have that mindset of, I'm an independent woman, I don't need a man, all men ain't ish, if you have that mindset, men will not want to be with you and you will remain single. The only type of men that will be with you are the desperate ones, because they have no other options. I have a lot of options and I would never choose a woman like that. Thing is, I remember that girl. I've seen her around. I don't think I've ever met her or ever spoken to her. There's a reason why. Now, her friend that initially started talking to me, I remember her too. I'm pretty sure I've spoken to that friend before because she has feminine energy. She doesn't come off as so masculine. And when I talk to her, same thing, feminine energy. That girl needs to take some pointers from her friend because her friend has a man. Her friend has a man. But of course, I asked her friend, though, when the two of you go out, which of you get approached more often? And, women do this thing where they just kind of want to make one another feel good. So she said, my friend, but I answered for her before she even gave an answer. I said, you. It has to be you. She said her friend. I don't believe that for a moment. As apparent by the fact that her friend is single for 5 years. Single for 5 years. That's a long time to be single. But anyway, yeah, that's that story. So I'll be coming on live, probably sharing a lot of these stories with you guys moving forward. So hey, hope you enjoyed this one. Leave your comments, leave your thoughts, let me know what you think. But ladies, seriously, if you want a man, if you actually want a husband, number one, stop waiting till the last minute. When men were polled between, I believe, the ages of 18 and 65, Most men desire women between the ages of 18 and 25 years old. Stop putting all of your time into just school and just being a boss bee and all of this. If you know that your primary goal is to have a husband and a family someday, then act like that's a primary goal for you. Don't wait till the back end, because guess what? You're going to have to be competing with the 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds someday when you're 26 and 30. And then you're masculine, you're never going to find a man. So if you end up seeing this PA school, not any type of attack or anything like that, but just some real serious hard advice, you have to look at you. If you're not getting what you want out of life, you have to look at you. Stop blaming everybody else. It's not the guys, it's you. And I'm telling you that it is you. And for any other woman with this mindset, it is you. Men do not want masculine women. It's polarity. A masculine man, or even if he's not a masculine man, he still does not want a masculine woman. It just doesn't work. We need polarity. The masculine is drawn to the feminine to the masculine. So anyway, that's it. I'll catch y'all the next time. So yeah, see you on the next story time. Peace.